Hello and welcome to the Genuine Learning Blog. My name is Melissa Galasso, and like we do every quarter, as the first day after the close of Q3 2020, we're going to review the issued standards that happened in the third quarter. The Genuine Learning Blog obviously focuses on what's coming down the pike, the exposure drafts, the preliminary views documents that are out there for exposure draft and to encourage due process. That's really our focus of the blog. However, for an awareness purpose, we think it's important also to cover, at least quarterly, what's been issued as final and what's coming down the pike from an issued standards perspective. So let's dive on in. So the AICPA issued two final SASs in this quarter. SAS 142, which is audit evidence, really thinking about the changes that we've seen from both a client perspective as well as an auditor perspective with the use of technology, and also focusing not necessarily on procedures, but on the qualities that make evidence sufficient and appropriate. And then with SAS 143, addressing auditing estimates. As the accounting estimates grow and become more principles-based, we needed a more robust framework to address those estimates. And so we see 143 come out to really make it a more risk-based approach. It also foreshadows the future standard that we expect to come down the pike for risk assessment, introducing certain requirements regarding separately identifying our inherent risk versus our control risk, explaining that if you do not test controls and control is at maximum, that inherent risk times control risk would be the initial inherent risk, and really just trying to clarify and provide a little bit more guidance. And so both of those standards are pretty big that are, however, way down the pike. So because of SAS 141 and the delay in SAS 134 through 140, SAS 142 won't be effective until calendar 2022. And 143 won't be effective till calendar 2023. So we got a little bit of ways before these are effective, but they are early adoptable. The AICPA also issued a set of interpretations, and so interpretive guidance being very important. The first one is related to receivables, in particular related to obviously the hot topic of the day, which is PPP loans, and also healthcare entities. So healthcare entities, two different perspectives here. One is on leases and how CCRs work, but also addressing some questions regarding the provider relief funds. So two really hot topics right now. They had to provide some Q&A. Again, they are non-authoritative, but they are incredibly useful. FASB issued two final standards, ASU 2020-06, which is a simplification push to try to reduce the number of methods and the number of models that are used when we have convertible debt, when we're trying to decide if something is debt versus equity. So that's a nice simplification out there. And then a nonprofit specific standard looking at contributed non-financial assets, also known as gifts in kind, providing new disclosure requirements as well as new presentation requirements, separating these contributed non-financial assets from other contributions like stock or cash, having to present them separately in the statement of activities. So two standards that are very niche. So if you don't deal in either of those areas, probably don't impact you. But if you work in either of those areas, can be very important and very helpful. And then last but not least, GASB still focusing again. This was issued very early on in this quarter, was the technical bulletin related to the CARES Act accounting. Not a lot of change from the exposure draft, which we previously covered on the Genuine Learning blog, but does provide some really helpful guidance regarding provider relief funds and the coronavirus relief funds, as well as PPP loans. So nothing short of more CARES Act accounting. So as I mentioned, not too deep this month, or I guess this quarter, but lots of really good information out there that has been finalized. So we just wanted you to be aware. So thank you for joining me today on the Genuine Learning blog, and I hope to see you on a future blog. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.